There is no such thing as country waltz.
In this video, we're going to teach you the basics of country waltz.
Wait, which one is right?
As you know, I'm not a really big fan of the catchphrase country swing because it doesn't really mean anything.
And we're going to do some country swing basic moves.
Well, that's not helpful.
Fusion dancing.
Fusion dancing? The entry into the world of partner dance can be overwhelming, particularly if you don't know where to start. What dance style do I choose? Everywhere you look, you see the names of different dances. Waltz, tango, salsa, swing. So what is it that makes these dances different from each other? So many different styles and so many different people teaching them, each with their own opinions. What is it that makes a dance style unique or even exist at all? First, let's understand why this is important, using the two main categories of partner dancing. Competitive. For competition, you are being judged by certain criteria, generally to known standards, and against other dancers that are trying to dance similarly. Therefore, we all have to agree on what defines the dance style. Social. Most importantly, a dance style is a language, or sometimes dialect, and in order for a lead-follow dance conversation to happen, we have to agree on the rules or syntax of the dance style, so we can communicate with each other clearly. Partner A trying to dance waltz while partner B is trying to dance salsa will result in a very unhappy dance style. For any multi-style dance competitor, one of the worst critiques you can receive is every dance looks the same. Tango looks like your foxtrot, and your rumba looks like your cha-cha, or your boogie-woogie looks like your lindy hop, then you aren't able to clearly express the differences that define each dance style. So back to our question of what defines a dance style? Is it the music, the techniques, the patterns? And as many dancers of all skill levels ask, what should I dance to this song? First, I want to clarify I'm focusing on what has been known in the 20th century as modern ballroom dancing. This is a term used to describe dancing done in the ballrooms and social clubs of the 19th and 20th centuries, and whose concepts can be expanded to include most of the partner dancing still done today. This style succeeded the dances of the ballroom, which were generally organized, choreographed, and much less individualized. Before modern ballroom dancing, most social dancing consisted of dancing for communal storytelling, such as hula, or courtship rituals, where dances consisted of large groups of young men and women. There was also dancing done for entertainment, such as ballet. Modern ballroom dancing emerged during a time of egalitarianism and a loosening of social norms around interactions between men and women. For the first time, a single man and single woman were allowed to dance together, closely, and choose their own steps. For more on this, like and subscribe so you can catch my next video, The Evolution of the Waltz. This dance couple is now dancing for their own enjoyment, although there were often still large crowds that watched. Much to the chagrin of the dance masters, the individual leads and follows can now develop their own styles, new steps, and new techniques at a much more rapid pace than before. All that was needed was one person to have a new idea, a second person to understand it, and a new step or style was born. Bear in mind the stark contrast requiring a whole group of people to learn a new figure, or the orchestra to learn a new song. This now rapid development of dancing is generally credited to the dancers of the waltz in Vienna, which quickly spread east and west. Russia, the Americas, the United Kingdom, all across the European continent, dancing was evolving at a rapid pace. As these new social norms of partner dancing spread, they were adopted to other genres of music, and new dance styles were born. Now that we have an understanding of which dancing we are talking about, we go back to our original question, what defines a dance style? But I think we need to change the question instead to, who defines a dance style? Our answer then varies wildly. In competition, there are often written rules and judges' unique and personal opinions. In dance studios, there are often written syllabi and the opinions of the instructors. On the social dance floor, the most important opinion is that of the person you are dancing with, who constantly changes. In the past, there were books written by various dance masters, and today we see video instruction on digital platforms. What all dancers must therefore understand is that all of these sources may agree or disagree on certain points, have their own opinions as to the left and right limits of a dance style, and in the end, you, as a dancer, have to take in as much information as you can, practice what you want to practice, and dance, because in the end, that's all it is, dance. We can, however, analyze the above sources and find a few common threads to weave together to come up with a definition or defining factors for a unique dance style, so that we can all enjoy the dances we have. Therefore, we will assess the following factors that must be considered when trying to determine whether or not a way of dancing is indicative of a new style of dance, and, more importantly, how you should dance. The music, the people dancing, the location where it is danced, the clothing the people are wearing, and the audience of the dance. What these will determine are the patterns and techniques used to dance. Let's break each of these down. The first thing that clearly calls for a different style of dance is the music. Dancing with the music is known as having musicality. I believe the best such of musicality is not a dancer. It's a person who has taken no dance classes, watch the couple dancing and say, "That looks like it goes with the music." Dancers will often nitpick fine details of the dancing when judging musicality, but they are good judges of the second half. Is my body moving in a way that feels like it goes with the music? Try the simple observational experiment. Go to somewhere with music that isn't full of dancers and watch what untrained people naturally do to the music. You're likely to see people bouncing up and down to music like this, or swaying back and forth to a song like this. Now look at what happens when we see someone doing the opposite movement to the music. Quite simply, it looks disconnected, whether you know how to dance or not. This is the bare minimum of musicality, and is often reflected in the basic techniques and patterns for dance styles. A waltz turn and footwork allow the body to swing and sway. A Peabody or Charleston basic allows you to bounce around. Secondly, we consider the strong yet consistent accents in the music. Pattern choice is often used to ensure steps or movements that allow dancers to feel that they are hitting the accents. For instance, songs written for waltz dancing have a strong rhythm section accent on the first beat of a measure, and therefore dancers use a powerful step on that beat in most patterns. Note that I said songs written for waltz dancing. We'll come back to that later. Some dance styles share style and accents, such as mambo and cha-cha or waltz and Viennese waltz, while others are clearly demarcated by their accents or lack thereof, such as Argentine and European tangos. Beyond the basic feel and repetitive accents, the music also has structure or phrasing. Great choreography and advanced social dancers will align their pattern choice with these divisions of the music. Additionally, one of the biggest considerations when listening to music is the tempo. Many dance songs can be sped up or slowed down, and now a different dance style is called for. This is, in fact, the origin of some dances, like the cha-cha, originally the triple mambo, or the slow waltz, originally the same steps in Viennese waltz, just done to slower music. Lastly, in addition to the rhythm and tempo of the music, the instrumentation is taken into consideration. This will tie into our next points of location and people, as waltz performed by a classical orchestra, country band, or tango orquesta típica have led to varying styles of dancing. Returning briefly to what we said about music made for waltz dancing, we have to recognize the difference between music that is written with a specific dance style in mind, and therefore attempts to adhere fairly strictly to the known style, and music that is merely danced to. Most music released today is not written with dancing in mind, and therefore won't fit one established dance style perfectly, but may be more open to a variety of established dance styles, or perhaps drive the creation of a new one. The history of new dance styles is very closely tied to the history of new music genres. This is the reason many dance styles are named after the music they are danced to: tango, waltz, swing, and more. Next, we take into consideration who is dancing when we decide how to dance. As you well know, no two people, not even identical twins, are exactly the same. Therefore, different dance styles have emerged to accommodate this fact. To expect an 80-year-old with limited mobility move exactly the same as a 24-year-old who has been physically trained and dancing since the age of 4 is quite simply ignorant of basic physical principles. At its height of popularity, modern ballroom dancing was enjoyed by most Westerners in some manner, of all ages and social levels. While it has become more of a niche activity in the last 50-plus years, the resurgence, thanks to shows like Dancing with the Stars, has sparked interest in people of all ages. Therefore, dance styles have to be accessible to everyone. This can be seen in the emergence of books in the early 1900s with simplified steps, quite a contrast to the perfection and delicate touch required by the minuet in the 1700s. The social American style of foxtrot starts with a very different step from the feather step of the international style, as it is easier and was designed to quickly move dancers of all ages and skill levels around the floor with an entry-level musicality. Additionally, if you hear swing dancing is fun and you watch Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, you might be quickly discouraged if you think that's the only good way to dance. Some people, no matter how hard they try, will not achieve that extreme level of physicality, and others don't want to. Therefore, instead of a fast-paced Lindy Hop, they may choose a slower Balboa or Charleston to dance to the same song. At the start of our next factor, we have a bit of a combination. Location and people typically encapsulates the culture. The British, for example, consider themselves exceptionally proper and polite, which considerably influenced their stylization of both ballroom and the ISTD Latin American dances, in contrast to the American rhythm dances or social merengue and bachata, which remain closer to their origins within the African cultures in the Americas. As stated at the beginning, most cultures had some kind of social group dancing already, and these musical and physical styles carried over into their modern partner dance styles. Location also refers to the physical location in which the music is danced to. Modern ballroom dancing originated in the massive dance halls of Vienna, with large floors and high ceilings. The Viennese waltz, therefore, flies around the dance floor to take advantage of the space. However, dancing spread soon to smaller houses, nightclubs, and American speakeasies, and flying around the floor was not possible. It would be quite inconsiderate and near impossible for a couple to dance a professional level quickstep on a small, tightly packed floor. Instead, a swing style would be much more appropriate. Much to the chagrin of some dancers, dancing is done 99% of the time fully clothed, and therefore what the dancers are wearing must be taken into consideration as it limits or frees the physical abilities of the dancers. We can see the reverse in action in the costuming differences between international standard and American smooth ladies, with the inclusion or exclusion of extra cloth hanging from the arms. In smooth dancing, these would constantly get caught, whereas in standard, they add to the look and don't get in the way because the dancers don't break frame. While this particular clothing style developed after the standards had split, similar differences created different dance styles. The first and foremost to consider is footwear or lack thereof, as the first waltz dancing was likely done in dance shoes. Ballet terminology is used throughout most dance manuals of the 1800s. However, as dancing spread outside of the royal courts and to the commoners, dancing was done in more regular shoes, or none at all, and footwork evolved. As dancing continued to spread to places like country western dance halls, technique had to adapt to stiff boots with high shafts. If you tell someone to use full ankle rise while wearing most cowboy boots, you would be setting them up for failure. Dresses and jackets also add significant limitations to dance style. If a lady is wearing a dress tight at the knees, a large backstep is impossible. Therefore, an Argentine tango may be more appropriate than an American or international tango, with ladies dressed and fully moving in open gowns. Additionally, for gentlemen, a highly restrictive tuxedo jacket may grant little mobility of the arms and require he stay in dance frame instead of leading turns or styling a hand above his head. Lastly, as different dance styles evolved, and as you dance today, the audience must be considered. This includes both the visual audience, particularly in the case of competitions and showcases, as well as the interpersonal audience, that is your dance partner, in social dancing. This is one of the clearest distinctions as seen in the difference between the American social and international competitive styles. While they can each be danced socially or competitively, the techniques, patterns, and teaching emphasize one over the other. A dance like Paso Doble, while mixed in with rumba and cha-cha, is generally not considered a lead-follow dance, and its choice of styling and patterns are designed for the competition floor. Meanwhile, dances like West Coast swing, considered a mostly social dance, put emphasis on a social look even on the competition floor, but not on strong lines like in jive, despite both being swing dances. So how did or do all these factors combine to give us different dance styles? This brings us back to the main question, who defines a dance style? Given all of these factors, we can see how some differences in dance styles would arrive naturally, but who named and solidified these different dance styles? As noted before, prior to the 1800s, most dancing was done and taught by cultural leaders, dance masters, and passed on through oral tradition. As reading and writing became more widespread, and the format of modern ballroom dancing allowed faster, more diverse innovation, new dance styles began to pop up everywhere. Many dance styles are named after the music: waltz, swing, tango, rumba, samba. Some dances are named after the people who wrote them down. Vernon and Irene Castle, the Castle Walk. Others are named after the region the variation was popularized in: the Boston Waltz, Carolina Shag, Charleston, Polka, Polska from Poland. And others still are named after where or how they were danced: the country two-step, nightclub two-step, or hesitation waltz. Some of these styles don't exist individually today, but are put underneath the umbrella of a parent dance. For instance, elements of the hesitation waltz were added to the American waltz. What's important to remember is that it takes both dance masters, the orthodox dancers, to keep a style true to its heart, but also the rogues, the innovators, to keep dancing alive and, well, interesting. If we only danced the Viennese waltz 200 years later, and no one had tried to do a natural turn to swing music, we wouldn't have the slow fox. New music and new freedoms or limitations change how we want and are able to dance. So when is a variation no longer a variation and now a new dance? As we said at the beginning, depends who you ask. There are professional organizations dedicated to writing down and defining dance styles, ISTDA, NDCA, WSF, and more, but as modern ballroom dancing has evolved over the last 2 centuries, it will continue to evolve one person at a time. Eventually, if something is a good enough idea, it will catch on, become popular, and, whether the old guard likes it or not, it will be here to stay and possibly added to the list of dances for the big organizations. Or maybe it will remain a regional variation. Only time will tell, and please never say, "You can," insert the only dance style you know, to anything. Alright, well that's all I have to say on the topic in 15 minutes, so please give me your thoughts, comments, and feedback below. This is my first video, so I want to make a follow-on about this general topic, hopefully in response to your comments, in addition to some videos about the evolution of individual dance styles. So please give feedback about the format, pace, delivery. I wanted to have something a little more long form than I could already find on YouTube, so hopefully I've added something constructive. Thanks again.